Hey y'all, this is Renna. I am from the Cosplay pair, Walking Shadows Cosplay, and this is my first ever tutorial. I'm a little nervous. I've decided that I really want to do some tutorials, but I want to do them in a certain way. I've noticed that a lot of tutorials out there, they show you how to work with the material, but they almost show it to you as if they already expect you to kind of know what the material is, and that was really frustrating for me. So this first tutorial, and hopefully all of my tutorials, is the first time I've ever worked with the material. So it'll be like we're both experiencing it at the same time, which hopefully will help answer some of the more basic questions, because there are plenty of tutorials out there that answer the more complicated questions. So with this first tutorial, about in November, this would be November 2012, I met up with my cosplay partner, and this is when we first decided that we wanted to be cosplay partners. And I wanted my first character to be someone I really, really loved, and we had just finished Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I fell head over heels with Lan Fan. I love some strong girls. And Irene, my cosplay partner, loved Ling, so we were like, this is perfect, but I wanted to make it really awesome, and I wanted to make Lan Fan's arm, and I don't like to do Automail arm, and I don't like to do things halfway, so I researched forever, and I found out about this stuff called Sintra. But I watched all these tutorials, and I was like, I'm still not even sure what it is. It looks like poster board. Is it hard? Is it like craft foam? Is it soft? Because people were talking about wear gloves or else you'll leave fingerprints in it, so that made it sound like it was soft. But then everyone was using it for armor, so I was like, is it hard? Is it heavy? I don't know what to do. So I made these videos, and it's July now, so I made these videos back in December, so it's been a really long time, but I'm just putting them together now, and hopefully I can fill in the gaps with some intermediary videos, whatever, nonsense. But here it is from me first ever seeing Sintra and playing with it to the finished project. I'll show you pictures of my arm, my Automail arm, which I think turned out fabulously. So here we go. Let's look at some Sintra. Hey y'all, so I'm popping back in to say that I just finished editing together this whole tutorial, and it's very long, and it is rather boring. It is not the abridged version in any way, but this is what I wish I could have had before I started working with Sintra, something long and boring and detailed. So here it is for you. If you're looking for something more concise, I would strongly encourage you to check out my abridged version of the tutorial. I'll post a link to that somewhere around here on the screen. Maybe it's in the description. I don't know. And if you do want to watch this long one, but you don't want to watch the whole thing, down in the description down below, I will post jump links that will tell you what times to go to see specific things, so that you don't have to watch the whole 30-minute video. Okay? Alright, here we go. Enjoy. So I have a piece right here on the floor that I'm going to show to you, and then I'm going to try to cut it and see how that works. I'm just going to try a sample cut and a sample heat to see how hot it gets, how it molds, and so on. So this is Sintra. I described it as poster board and PVC pipe having a baby. So I got the 3mm thickness, and I looked all over for this stuff locally, and some sign shops said that they had it, but I couldn't find one that was willing to sell it to me. And if you just look on the Sintra websites, it's pretty expensive. So I found 6 sheets of this size. That's 18 by 24, I think. I got 5 sheets, of that size for only $30, including shipping, on eBay. So that's what I did. And I've already made some lines here, and I'm going to try to cut out this little piece. So these lines I made with my This is like a box cutter slash X-Acto knife that I bought at a local hobby store. I bought it because it was cheaper than the really heavy duty ones. This one was only about $3 or $4. Hopefully it'll be good enough to get me through the Sintra. So up here on this line I've already made 3 cuts and I haven't gone very far through. So let's see how many cuts it takes to actually make it through this stuff. That'll have to do. So this is cut number 4. And I have to push pretty hard. And cut number 2 on this side. Oh, made it through. Ooh, okay. Just broke right off. Okay. So here's a piece. Oh, here's something I'm noticing. The big piece itself is kind of floppy. It's hard to get. I can't hold the camera far enough away. But you can see it bends, it wiggles. But as soon as I cut it down to this little piece, there's really not a lot of give to it. It's solid, which is good. That's to be expected. Oh, and it is hard stuff. Like, I need to... it's called Sintra PVC foam board, which I assume meant it would be kind of foamy, but no, this is plastic. This is legit. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna try heating it up now, but I don't have my heat gun here with me. It's still at my parents' house. Most people recommend that you heat Sintra up in the oven at about somewhere between 200 and 250 degrees for 3mm. I don't want to do that because it is PVC plastic, and so when it is heated, it gives off fumes. It is PVC plastic, and so when it is heated, it gives off fumes. And these fumes, some studies say that they cause cancer, some people say that they do nothing. But since I do live in an apartment with other people, I'm not gonna put them at risk, even though I might be willing to try it in the oven. So I am gonna try to use a heat gun. I don't have, like I said, I don't have my heat gun right now, and so I was curious to just try a hairdryer and see if anything would happen. It probably won't, but it doesn't hurt to try, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go try it with a hairdryer, and we'll see if I can record it at the same time. Okay. Okay, so I wasn't able to figure out how to hold the camera and do my hairdryer test at the same time. So I just tried it with the hairdryer, and it actually kind of worked. So here's the piece that I just had before, and now you can see it's curved. So what I did is I just placed it against my leg right here, and I used my WeGo hairdryer. I love these things. And I just turned it on and blew it on it, and then when it started to get soft, I just pressed down, and then excuse me, and then it went soft, and now it's totally hard and rigid again. I can't bend it. This stuff is so cool. Okay, so I didn't actually end up recording myself cutting out all the pieces for the arm because it took roughly 6 hours and was kind of boring. These are the pieces that I cut out. They don't really look like anything yet. I don't know if I just kind of said it offhandedly in the first video about how I was worried about how it would be with rounded edges. As you can see, I made a lot of rounded edges, and circles were like a nightmare. They were so hard. These I've actually already glued together. These are let me put them in somewhat the order they go. These are, they go like that and they become Lawn Fawn's shoulder guard or pauldron. These were super duper duper easy because they were just a bunch of straight cuts. I got these out no problem. This piece was the bane of my existence. This is the base of the arm, the main part of the arm, and it was so hard to cut out. I'm still gonna have to sand down the edges to make it perfectly smooth, but here, I'll show you how it fits together. So this is the base of the arm. These are the places where the elbow joints are. You can see she has those circular elbow joints. Right now it just kind of looks like E.T. or something. But you put this on top of it, just sticking a little bit. Just like that. And then that becomes the little spike part where the blade comes out. And these bigger circles go behind openings. And then these smaller circles go on top of the bigger circles. And that's just to give the impression of depth and layers. And this I will score in a cross shape to make it look more like a screw or a joint, like her arm is. So that's the part that goes out around the outer arm and covers the elbow. I have yet to make the part that covers the inner arm. Because I first want to glue this together and mold it into the right shape so that I know exactly how big that inner arm piece is going to have to be. I don't want to take any chances since this stuff is so expensive. These were small enough and easy enough that I was just able to bend them around a coffee can using my hairdryer. So they were small enough. The problem came with this little one. This little one was so small that it didn't want to bend very much, so I probably am going to give it another go with the Heatgun, because it doesn't have quite the same curvature as the bigger ones, and so they don't sit together super nicely. Okay, let's talk about sanding. If you look at this guy, I have glued on the extra layer. You can see it best like right there. So there is a border that I glued on. The borders were kind of hard to cut out, but not too bad. And then this was the magical thing. When all the instructions I read said that you should sand down the Sintra, I was like, that sounds not fun, and it already looks good, but oh, I was wrong. After you sand this stuff, it's amazing. You can't even see the seams where the two meet. It's totally smooth. I was able to round the corners a little bit, and you take a super, so you start with, or at least this is what I did. I started with a really heavy grit, like a 60, I think it was. So I started with a 60, and I used that to just sand away the seams. That got rid of all the seams. But it also left it really, really rough. And then I moved on to a 120, and I went over with a 120, and I smoothed out the places I had sand before, and I also kind of rounded all the edges to just kind of give it a more smooth, sleek look. And I also took that 120 and I rubbed it all over everything to make it rough. And then it was smoother, but it was still rough. And then I took a really, really, really fine sandpaper. I think it was 320. So it was really, really fine, and ran it over everything. And now it's really weird. It almost feels soft. I don't know. But it feels really great. And that should help the primer, the paint, stay on. That's where I'm at right now. I am not sure what kind of paint to get. I don't know if I should get a matte paint and then use gloss, or get a metallic paint, and I don't know if I should do this part black like it is in the anime, or if I should do it a dark gray so it looks more like metal and do the border a light gray. There's so many things I don't know. My next step is going to be gluing together these pieces and using a heat gun to mold it around this little styrofoam cone guy. So we're gonna try again. We have this new thing. This is actually a scrapbooking tool. It's used for heat embossing. Hopefully it gets as hot as a real heat gun. And also hopefully it doesn't smoke. See, that's what he's supposed to do.
How do you get a cord?
I'm worried that I won't be able to heat up the whole surface fast enough so that when I go to... it's getting kind of floppy. So when I go to mold it, pieces of it will have cooled off in the time it took just to move it. I'm not a heat gun expert. It's getting floppier. I think for the big pieces I might cave and use the oven. Because doing this for the whole arm would be really annoying. Oh, look at that. It's bending! It's alive! I can smell something. It's not anything terrible. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Crap. Ooh, yeah, that's toasty. It expanded a little bit. Not a bad thing. Yeah, it really does take on every imprint. So it's still kind of warm, a little bendable. So there it goes right there. Back of the hand. Okay, so after the failure with the heat gun, I decided to use the oven after all. And it's heating up, and so this is what I'm heating up. This is the main arm piece for Lawn Fawn. I'm going to curl it around this styrofoam cone. Yep, so it's heating up to 225 right now. I've heard somewhere between 200 and 250 was good, so I went for the average. Hopefully it works. Okay, here we go. We're putting her in. We're wearing the masks for fumes. I don't know if they'll actually work, but they're better than nothing, and we've got the window open. So here we go. Putting it in. Let's see, is there a light? You think I'd know my own oven better? I don't see a light. That's a bummer. Well, I can look for it while we're waiting. That's my favorite calculus joke. Okay, things are happening in there. Whoa, that's like magic. All right, we're gonna give it a go. Please get out of the way, cinematographer. I didn't take this off in advance. I'm really hoping that the styrofoam doesn't, you know, melt. I know styrofoam cups melt really easily, but now I smell something. Do you smell that? Alright, here we go. Whoa, it's totally floppy. This is crazy. Alright, this is harder than I thought it would be. So many layers. Captain.
Wish we had snow.
Oh, this, don't touch it, it's hot. Woo!
Have any extra oven mitts?
You wouldn't need oven mitts, you'd need gloves. Okay, it's actually actually, it's cracking a little bit because I don't think it's quite hot enough. That third layer wasn't soft enough. This is very stressful. Maybe I shouldn't have glued it all together first, but then how do you make sure that it all goes back in the right shape? Yeesh, I don't know.
How do you know if the thing doesn't just melt?
Alright, that's floppy. That's still not floppy enough. This is the craziest stuff. Sintra is a magical medium.
Oh,
Alright.
the smell is strong in this one.
Do you smell it? I can't smell it, but I have a bad nose. It's warm, but not too warm. Here, I'll turn. I bought this styrofoam thing just at my local hobby shop. Gotta love Hobby Lobby. Oh, this part is solidified again. Not sure if I love that shape. Okay. That's progress. That's progress. I want to do some, you can see it's not perfectly good. I'm going to have to do some hand molding there. It is changing color a little bit. Can you see that, how it's a little yellower now? Either that or my lights in here are just really bad. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of, do you see in there? That's creasing. That worries me, but the seam still looks good, or the edge still looks good, which makes me think it's not that big of a deal. Okay, going in for some specific molding. I'm holding it down by the element, which doesn't appear to be doing, you know, anything. But I'm worried because I don't want to put it all the way in because I don't want to lose the curl that I already have, because it's pretty good. It's pretty nice. But I guess I will. Just for a minute. Gotta watch it close. As soon as it starts to change shape, I gotta yank it back out of there. Good. Alright, here we back up. Oh, back. Here we go. That's a better shape. That's pretty good. But now this top part's all messed up. This is an interesting battle we're doing. I feel like I'm roasting marshmallows on the oven. Oh, it is working. It's getting softer. Can you hand me the styrofoam thing? Whoa, it's smoking. Whoa, it's burning. Okay. Stovetop, not my best idea. Crap. Crap. Okay, that was a near disaster. Luckily I'm pretty handy with sandpaper and I was able to get it looking back fairly normal because, I did not want to start over. So, stovetop, bad idea. Don't do stovetop. So we're back to the oven. And that's it. That's the whole thing. The rest of the build from there was just painting. When you paint on Sintra, it's really important to sand it down first, like I already said. And then I just use spray paint. Spray painting techniques would be a whole nother video. Maybe I'll make one of those. I don't know. Again, if you want that all in a nutshell, there's the abridged version. If there's anything I didn't cover that you'd still like to know, please feel free to leave a comment on this video. Or you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WeWalkingShadows, or our email, wewalkingshadows@gmail.com. Looking forward to hear from you guys. Peace out.